Hello everybody, I hope you're all well, keeping well, etc. On this video I want to do a final look at the 49 Mercury custom pickup details. I've made several other parts for it, a new headliner, there's some jack fittings and a scratch-built toolbox. And also want to compare the interior with the basic Chevrolet 55 pickup that I was working on the other day, just to show the difference in adding handles and seat belts to the basic bare kit, because that one is more or less devoid of details and really needs some work. And also a little bit on the Ranchero, as that's, as you can see, black. And I'm going to attempt this sort of grid waffling pattern that I was trying the other week. So that'll be the next stage on that, and that is all I've got to say about that today, really. This is the internal tub of the 55 Chevrolet. And over there I've put a wash of grey into it to try and pick out the details. These are moulded on details there and somewhere around here. I mean, it's just so hard to see and they're so faint. I think it's there to there for the winder, there and along there. This is only there like that. That's what I think it is. Winder to there. And the pedestal of the winder there, pedestal of the handle there, and handle like that. But that is so really fine, it'd be very hard to pick out. And these continually moulded in door pockets. I wish they were a bit more open, or even a separate part that went splogs. Whereas on this, I've now completed this. I've toned everything down and done all the chrome I want to do to it. And apart from fitting in the steering wheel and column, it's finished. But looking down on there, you can hopefully see the details that I've added in the window winder and the door opener, plus the added seat belts. Now these are all simple parts to actually make, but that's a lot better in my eyes to have the actual three-dimensional pieces with gaps between them. You know, with using, in this case, masking tape, I've been able to bring up that seat belt into a wrinkle that you casually throw your seat belt back in, rather than it just being a formed cross or nothing at all. I think doing this sort of stuff makes a lot of difference. Let's move these out of the way. In the back bed, I've got 3 loose parts there. I'll just tip them out. I've scratch built an old toolbox for the corner over there, with a padlock on it, and wire handles. I don't know whether I can get the light better, like that maybe. Yeah, scratch built an old toolbox, put a padlock on it, like I say, wire handles, and at the back there I've added a bracket, and there's a bracket down there, and these are for the jack parts I've got. This is a jack comes from the 49 Mercury custom coupe, I think, something like, or the sedan. And to that I've added a round pad onto that, the actual jacking part, to give it more of a pad to sit under the car to lift it. There was a horrible seam, it was chromed, and it was on the chrome sprue, but there was quite a big seam down there, so I've tried to get, oh, I can see a couple of places I've missed, clean them up and retouch that in, and then aged and weathered it so as it's going to just sit in the rack at the back. Oops, not that way around. So there's a little sort of stump in the middle that holds that further away. And I reshaped the drive part that did fit in. What's going on, Pete? Something like that. And then the handle, also chromed. I drilled out the end and then shaped it again with a knife to try and get a sort of hex in there, or square pattern to link to that. I'm just going to drop that into the back of there. I finished off the CB spotlight with a grilled sort of lens onto it, and then there's a little bit of a bulb in there to give a bit more detail to that. There's over here on the strap, I hope that will come in, there we go. That's a masking tape strap with an X brass buckle holding the jerry can in place. This is the headliner panel for it. It's made up of a piece of card, and then these are individual squares of, or rectangles of card. Then I made the sun visors and added a mirror. Now that all, I can handle this now. It's had a couple of days to dry. I am a bit disappointed with the decals, as it's not going to show up, but in reality there's a white line along the bottom edge, and on the other side it's a print offset. There's a white line at the top of them, and considering the simplicity of the shapes, I should have gone for a masking them. But there you go. I'm going to weather this up a bit anyway. I wanted to know whether my lacquer would react against the decal anyway. So I mean, there was a test in that, and it hasn't. There's been absolutely no reaction. It's fine, which is brilliant because it's relatively cheap. You know, it's an auto in a can lacquer, and it does shine. I haven't polished this yet. This has got to be flatted back and polished yet. I've still got the windscreen wipers to do. And I should have hollowed out the handles, because I'm regretting that. So I might well mask that off and hollow them out. I'm not sure. I think I'll just leave it, try and get a bit of black paint into there. And I started working on just some minor blistering, I hope this will show, along the trim. I don't want this to be very, a real rusty job. If you want to see a good one, Mad Dog Mer's doing a nice job on a Mustang at the moment. He's doing a series on rust effects and that, and it's been really quite good. I like Mad Dog's channel. Good bloke. On the inside of here, I've trimmed this windscreen piece down. It did have a lot over the top. I've trimmed it all down. In fact, that line there is an outline of where it went. So it was like right out here and sort of semi-sun visored itself. I've added different pieces of strip in there. This one locates the back panel, and these two above the doors will locate the headliner, which will slip in there. And pop into place. Aha! Thank you. And is held by the two bits at the side. It just needs levelling out a little bit. little pushing around. But anyway, that gives us a headliner, sun visor dangling down there, mirror, and a headliner. But I thought it's better to show this before I close the whole thing up, because it will be more about the outside weathering and everything else. There goes my screen. That's basically that for that. Still got to work out what I'm doing with the tailgate. I haven't quite finished back there yet. And then I'm using the VW Beetle tail lights, which will fit over there. What else was there? Oh yeah, the front bumper I've rusted up quite a bit. I want it to have an effect of being sat and neglected, but and like it was unchromed from an original part and had been used and not re-chromed. The back one, I've added a tow bar and electric plug to the back of that. So I want to have it so that it's used. And this is a flipped upside down bumper. And then I put the fittings onto there and rusted them up a little bit, dirtied all that up. The front grille is made from a piece of aluminium sheeting, and that I made by using I deformed this part from a 49 coupe, custom coupe, and made it smaller all the way around, so that it's now a loose fit in the hole in the front, but gave me clearance for the mesh that I was going to use, and then formed my mesh over this kit part, using it as a former to give me the grille to pop in the front. I've also stolen this part, which is a radiator panel from the 49 coupe, and turned these little plugs, which were locators, into what will either be sort of spotlights behind the grille or indicators behind the grille. Just to give a little sort of glint in the background of something going on. Probably never be seen, but something to do, isn't it? Just dump a bit of bare metal foil in the bottom there and then glaze them over. Because they were slightly visible, as it's not from this part, I've had to make new mounting points out of some channel there to fit into this car. I bet that was long-winded. Anyone still watching, hope you're all well and all that, and best wishes from jolly old England. Bye.